first one has 7 things under it. Each of these. The first one has 7 issues under it. We should quickly take the 7 issues so that is first one. Those are 7 other kinds of knowledge. We mentioned Salatul-Masjid, we mentioned Salatul-Tawbah, we mentioned Salatul-Istikhara. Uh, Ustad Suleiman Fulani, he discussed the Rawatib with us. After Rak'atay and Qiyam, one of the most important aspects of Nawafil are those Rawatib. Let us stick to making Rawatib. Those Nawafil that we make before or after the obligatory prayers are very, very important. Let us stick to making them Rawatib. Should have been discussed yesterday. So today, inshallah, we'll be discussing 7 other kinds of Nawafil. The first one we'd like to take is Tahiyyatul-Masjid. Tahiyyatul-Masjid. Tahiyyatul-Masjid, as the name goes, is 2 minutes of prayer we make by way of greeting the masjid. When you come to the masjid, I think we should quickly address that. Why do we say masjid? But there are other places where we pray. We pray in Musallayat. Musalla. There is difference between Musalla and Masjid. There is difference between Musalla and they are both designated Musalla. But Masjid is Masjid. And Musalla is just bypass, let's just quickly makeshift, so to speak. Musalla. Or a place where the 8 prayers are made, Musalla. Or a place, the same place where Salawat like Yusuf, Salatul Janaza, they are made. So usually there are some slight differences between the Musalla and what the Masjid. Tahiyyatul-Masjid is Tahiyyatul-Masjid. It is for the Masajid alone. That's why when ulama discuss Salatul Eid, they will tell us what Abdullah ibn Abbas said from there is no Salat before or after Salatul Eid. When you come to the Eid, you just sit down and you're making takbirat before Imam comes. That is a musalla, it's not a masjid. No one should say, oh, I want to make Tahiyyatul-Masjid. I have seen it before. One young brother, maybe he just read the hadith of Tahiyyatul-Masjid. He wanted to make Tahiyyatul-Masjid where? At the Musalla of Eid. One of the brothers was dragging down. You know how a flag is flat down? Just put it down. So Tahiyyatul-Masjid is restricted to the Masajid. Tahiyyatul-Masjid is restricted to Masajid. So if you know a place to be a masjid, that's where you observe this prayer. If it's just a musalla, a prayer place, you pray there and go, then it is not regarding these kinds of music that the Tahiyyatul-Masjid is legislated. Abu Qatada al-Ansari radiyallahu anhu said that the Prophet said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِذَا دَخَلَ أَحْدُكُمُ الْمَسْجِدِ. You see now, somebody can say, why are you saying we should not observe it at Musalla? Because the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam specifically mentioned it for where? Masjid. He said alayhi salatu wa sallam, إِذَا دَخَلَ أَحْدُكُمُ الْمَسْجِدِ فَلْيَرْكَعْ رَكْعَتَيْنِ. إذا دخل أحدكم المسجد فليركع ركعتين قبل أن يجلس. إذا دخل أحدكم المسجد فليركع ركعتين قبل أن يجلس. If any of you comes into the masjid, فليركع is command. Let him therefore observe ركعتين 2 units of prayers, Qabla and Yajlisa, before he sits down. Because that statement carries an order with it, it says, Yarka, let him observe, command. Some of the scholars have ruled that Tahiyyatul-Masjid is compulsory. Because the Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Yarka Rak'atay, commanded and said, let him observe 2 units of prayer. Qabla is before he sits down. Some of the scholars rule from that Tahiyyatul-Masjid is compulsory. Why? The Prophet said, let him therefore observe 2 units of prayer before he sits. So you come to the masjid. This also includes Masjidul Haram. Some of the people think that Masjidul Haram, if you come inside it, you do not need to make Tahiyyatul-Masjid. There's a reason why they think so. Because if you are in the Haram, you are just arrived from the court. You know the first thing you do? You want to take tawaf. Once you come to Masjidul Haram, it's not to sit down. You want to do what? That's why it became popular among the scholars of it. They would say, At-Tawaf, Tahiyyatul-Masjid al-Haram. The Tawaf is the greeting of Masjid al-Haram. But that's for the person who comes in to make Umrah or Hajj. If you are a resident or you are a resident person, after your Umrah, you are gone out of the Haram, you are waiting for the day of Hajj, Yawm al-Tarwiyah, and you come into the Masjid to pray, you have a duty to observe Tahiyyatul-Masjid. Why? The Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, إِذَا دَخَلَ أَحَدُكُمُ الْمَسْجِدَ This alif wallah istidrak. It involves every masjid without an exception. The exception is for the musallayat, and there is a difference between musalla and what? Masjid. So if you come to the masjid, make 2 rakats of prayer because. Now let me say this. There are some scholars who believe that Tahiyyatul-Masjid is just mustahab. It's just sunnah. Sunnah to mu'akkada if you want. But it appears to me, and Allah knows best, that those who have a view that it is compulsory, they have a stronger view. Many of the scholars have that. Like an Imam Shokani, if I still remember that but amongst them was Ibrahim, Sheikh Muhammad ibn Umar ibn Sa'id ibn and others say that Tahiyyatul-Masjid is compulsory because the Prophet commanded that we should do so. How about on the day of Jummah? How about on the days of Jummah? We come into the masjid, the Imam is observing the khutbah. What do we do? Here what the Prophet said we should do, alayhi salam. Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari radiyallahu anhuma reported that جاء سليم بن الغفاري يوم الجمعة ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم يخطب فجلس. Sulaym al-Ghafari is the name of Sulaym. So this hadith became popular as what? Hadith of Sulaym. Hadith of Sulaym is Sulaym al-Ghafari. So that جاء سليم al-Ghafari يوم الجمعة. Sulaym al-Ghafari came into the masjid on the day of Jum'ah wa Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. At that time, that condition when he came. The Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, Yahtub was making what? Sulaym now did what? Sadaqah. فَقَالَ لَهُ alayhi salatu wasalam. The Prophet said to him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Sulaym, O Sulaym, qum farka' rak'atay. Stand up and make 2 units of prayer. There are a lot of points of benefit in this. One of it is that the Imam, while making khutbah, he can correct one of the people who else. Imam can speak to one of the people who else. So The Prophet said to him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Sulayk, kum farka rak'atay. Stand up and make 2 units of prayer. وَتَجَوَّزْ فِيهِ. Make them brief. تَجَوَّزْ فِيهِ. Make them brief. So the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he said that to Sulayk, what do you think Sulayk will do immediately? He will stand up quickly. So as the Sulayk stood up and all that, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam now addressed the rest of them. Said, إِذَا جَاءَ أَحَدُكُمْ يَوْمَ الْجُمْعَةِ وَالْإِمَامُ يَخْطُبُ. If any of you came on the day of Jummah in the masjid وَالْإِمَامُ يَخْطُبُ, at the time when the Imam was making or is making the khutbah, فَلْيَرْكَعْ رَكْعَتَيْنِ فَلْيَرْكَعْ. Let him observe 2 minutes of prayer. وَلْيَتَجَوَّزْ فِيهِ. وَالْإِسْلَامُ إِسْلَامُ. Let him also be brief in the 2 of them. So don't let it be that if the Imam is on the minbar on the day of Jummah and you want to make Tahiyyatul-Masjid, don't you want to start adding Lamin that Tajawwaz. You will be what? Brief. Because the Prophet said, why would he attach Tajawwaz? Let him be brief in it. So it will be very, very brief. Very brief. So you see, it's also a command for Sulayk. It's another reason the scholars say that it's compulsory. Because to listen to the khutbah is compulsory. But the Prophet ﷺ had to stop the khutbah to tell him, pray. If it's not a compulsory thing, Sulayk will not be commanded at the time of khutbah to leave listening to khutbah and pay attention to Tahiyyatul-Masjid. Let me say something. Many times when issues the scholars go differently about are discussed, every person will advance evidence for his view. If there are 2 opinions, you will advance evidence for the view that you consider correct, isn't it? If another person views differently, advance your views, advance your evidences for that your view. Don't become a nuisance to the Muslims by becoming abusive and insulting. Let us be mannerly now, Muslims. Salafis, which day are we going to be showing manners with ourselves? Respect your brother. All what we are reading now are hadiths from Bukhari and Muslim. Bukhari, Muslim. So if you think otherwise, that's your evidence, is what you should say. Leave insults, leave abuse, leave vulgar words aside. Allah says, "Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal maw'izati hasan." Invite unto the path of Allah with good wisdom and good speech. Those your abuses too, do they form part of good speech? Salafi. Be decent in your speech. Your indecency when you are preaching. Do you think that Allah forgave you that one? Your indecent speech when you preach. You have a guarantee that because you are preaching. So my indecent speech is forgiven. Who gave you that guarantee? And when he talked about non-Muslims, this is what Jahadilhum billati hiya ahsan. Non-Muslims, when you make jidal, when you have to argue with non-Muslims, you have to make mufawwah to project evidence versus evidence. He says billati hiya ahsan, in a nice clean manner. Quran says so. How about when you make mufawwah, when you make exchange evidence with your brother Muslim? How about when you exchange evidence with your brother Salafi like you? This Salafi thing is more of the mouth is the mouth of the people. Come back to that if Allah wills. But be decent in speech. If you are not decent in speech, don't think that people will be engaging you. Nobody will engage somebody whose speech is not decent. This the Quran, then the Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. When you speak to the people, say what is good. That's a general day-to-day speech. How about when it has to do with issues of knowledge? How many issues have scholars differed about? Then people become indecent in their speech. You want people to join you in your indecency. No reasonable person will join you in indecency. Every reasonable person wants to avoid anything that is indecent. If it is decent, he will join you. But when you become indecent, he will leave you to it. Brothers, let us be decent. Decency is part of our dawah. Decency in speech, in dawah, in advancing a position is part of Salafiyah. Be decent. Tahiyyatul-Masjid is what we have just mentioned. And I think that point deserves good attention. The second issue out of the 7 issues we have, I think that suffices on Tahiyyah. There are other issues, like saying that the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Imam Abu Dawud's sister in his Sunnah, when he said, when the companion reported the hadith, and hadith is sahih. When the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam were alive, they would come to the masjid and go out. They used to come in and out of the masjid. So those who say Tahiyyatul-Masjid is not compulsory, they bring this as evidence. So the ulama say, hey, does that report say they used to come in and sit down? So they used to come in and out. Did that mean that they were sitting down? You can come in and out of masjid, that's not the problem. The issue is, can you sit down in the masjid before Tahiyyatul-Masjid? That is the issue. Because the Prophet conditioned Tahiyyatul-Masjid to what? Julusun fil masjid. Sitting down. If you come in, make Tahiyyah before you sit down. If you are not sitting down, come. You sit down. Tahiyyatul-Masjid al-Sahih, inshallah, is compulsory. The second thing we like to talk about is the 2 units of prayer after wudu. 2 units of prayer after wudu. And I like us to take to this sunnah because it is simple. The sunnah after wudu, sunnah to wudu, the 2 units of prayer after wudu. Uqba ibn Amir al-Juhani radiyallahu anhu, he reported that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, Ma min muslimin yatawaddahu fayuhsinu wudu'ahu thumma yaqumu fayusalli rak'atayn muqbilun alayhima biqalbihi wa wajhihi illa wajabat lahu al-jannah. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu, Ma min muslimin yatawaddahu fayuhsinu wudu'ahu thumma yaqumu fayusalli rak'atayn muqbilun alayhima biqalbihi wa wajhihi illa wajabat lahu al-jannah. Said alayhi salatu wassalam, Ma min muslimin yatawaddahu fayuhsinu wudu'ahu. There is not any Muslim who will make wudu. You created it. And he will make that wudu very well, in perfect sin. What is the first job we have in Islam? To be able to perfect our. Everybody should learn perfect. Don't make wudu of it. Just make it like that. No worry. No. Learn a perfect wudu. So he said, if your wudu is perfect, thumma yaqumu fa yusalli, then you stand up and pray rak'atay, 2 units of prayer. That's a condition. Muqbilun alayha biqalbihi wa wajhihi. Those 2 units of prayer, muqbilun, this individual, when he prays them, muqbilun alayha biqalbihi wa wajhihi. He will pay attention to that salah because with his mind and his face, meaning that he will give those 2 units of prayer full attention. That is the condition. If you do that, what about alayka al-jannah? You are obliged. You are obligated to enter al-jannah. If you do that, you will get al-jannah. 2 units of prayer after wudu. It guarantees al-jannah. Very simple. You can do it in 5 minutes. The 5 minutes that you take to read a WhatsApp message. Some of us, as we are making the wudu itself, we are busy with the WhatsApp. How then will it be easy for us to get this agenda? Because of that, your friend's message is the reason you want to lose an agenda. You want to lose an opportunity for a reward of agenda. May Allah make it easy for all of us. We need to call back our minds and prioritize our activities. 2 units of prayer after we do with full attention. Wallah, you can make it in 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. You are there. May Allah make it easy. Uthman ibn Affan, Dhul Nurayn, radiyallahu anhu. We know why he's called Dhul Nurayn. He married 2 daughters of the Prophet Muhammad. Uthman ibn Affan, Abdur-Rauf, radiyallahu anhu. Uthman. One of those who was guaranteed al-Jannah by the Prophet Muhammad. One of those who spent, he was very rich. Osman was rich. And one of the most worshipful amongst the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. Osman. He read the entire Quran in Qiyamul Layl every day. I used to think that, how will he do it? Until a father told me that his son does that in Ramadan every day. Last weekend, I met a father. That boy, I met him in Cairo. He leads a masjid in Jama'ah, Salatul Jum'ah. And he has a Ratibi masjid that he leads as imam. Young brother, young. So I went to his house. I went with my family. We went to his house. In fact, that brother, they moved him from one masjid to the other for Salatul Jum'ah in Cairo. You know what that means? When he gives khutbah, he does not hold a paper. He talks extempore, as they say. Very good brother. A gifted brother. May Allah protect and preserve this brother. Very nice young person. So I visited his father last weekend. He said, I'm going to ask you, so person came. I said, sir, I have not told you that I met him in Cairo. He said, So I started telling the father. The father was happy. Parents, please do well. What you do will come back to your parents. This father, he can't read Quran like this. But he likes Quran. He likes Quran so much. He built a big house. If you have a child, you say, bring your child. He keeps people's children in that house. He will now employ teachers of Quran to be teaching them Quran. He'll be paying them money. Learn Quran, memorize Quran. That's all. Learn Arabic, learn Quran, learn Tawheed. 3 things. Learn Arabic, learn Quran, learn Tawheed. He put the children in the house. When you finish Quran, go. Finish Quran, learn Arabic, go. Many of his children, he had many children. He had over 32 children. As at last time he told me about it. He had over 32 children. So when I visited that one of them, I told him, those we went together, the third brother who took us there himself, said, this brother is eating from what his father has done. I think this brother is enjoying something, one favor from somewhere. And I think it is the one from his father by which Allah has blessed him. So the father now said, say, let me tell you one more thing about this boy. I said, what is it? He said in Ramadan, he finished the whole Quran in one night. So he reads the Quran 30 times in Ramadan. That is the first person that I know who does that. Ramadan one night, He even said the time he will start, the time he will end, he will finish the Quran. One of us, may Allah protect us. One of those who used to do that in the past was who? Usman ibn Affan. And Imam al-Bukhari too used to do that. Bukhari is all rounder. Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari, Abu Abdullah. Uthman ibn Affan has this hadith from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That day, he taught the people who. So after teaching them, he now said, "Let me tell you what I heard from the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasallam. So, man tawadda'a nahwa wudu'i hada. Man tawadda'a nahwa wudu'i hada. Whoever makes wudu in the light of the way as I have made it. Thumma salla rak'atay. And then he observes 2 units of prayer. La yuhaddithu fihima nafsahu. Why he makes these 2 units of prayer? La yuhaddithu fihima nafsahu. He will not be discussing, having the discussion of the mind. You know, discussion of the mind? Should I go to the office today? Oh, I should not go. No. Should I give my wife this money she's asking for now, or I should postpone it? Say no, postpone it. Say no, give her part of it. No, don't give her part of it. This kind of a discussion happens to men in laws. If you don't do this, like this in the hadith of Uqba ibn Amr, Mukbilun alayhima biqalbihi wa wajhihi. He faces this salah with his mind and with his face and attention. Uthman said, Radiyallahu anhu, Ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi. The entirety of his past sins will be forgiven. 2 units of prayer after wudu. Usually narrations of ma Ghufranu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi. Forgiveness for what had gone past from sins. They usually come regarding minor sins. As for the major ones, he has to make it all. I hope that the matter is clear to us. 2 units of prayer after wudu. The women who are at home, she wakes up, she makes Qiyamul Layl. I'm sure Qiyamul Layl would have been discussed. She makes Qiyamul Layl. She makes Rak'atay or observes Salatul Fajr. She's sitting down there until the time of Salatul Duha. She makes Salatul Duha. Each time she makes wudu within this period, she's also making 2 units of prayer. What kind of goodness will that woman bring to your home? It's better than giving the house 1 million euros. So that woman will be the means of goodness in the house of her husband. Barakah will flow in the house. Success will flow in the house. It's in the hands of the woman. But she makes wudu 2 units of prayer quickly. She gives her home 2 units of prayer. And then she's remembering that the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, when you do 2 units of prayer, your home, you are bringing barakat, khair to it. So she's doing that. The woman has a lot of things to do at home, more beneficial than naira and kobo. People think it is when you bring naira and kobo at home. Leave Abu to be doing that. Yes, leave Abu to be going flying about. You stay in the house to bring the blessings of Allah to us. And you are going to be making the affairs of your husband easy. You will pray for him, Allah. This man that went out, make things easy for him. He will not be finding things easy. He will think that, I get sense. You don't get sense. It is the dua of your husband, your wife, and her goodness. So by that, Allah blesses you. Let's look at it like this. So the 2 of us want to do it together. If she's praying, she will not pray for her husband. She's praying, Allah, let me get customer. Allah, let me get customer. But if the source is just one, the dua will be Allah bring for us. Because she knows that when it enters the reservoir, it will flow. But everybody has their own water tank. When you tank finishes, you always say, far. Let us not be like this. I say this in almost every talk that I say no. Because women have abandoned the homes now. Women are abandoning the homes. So we have to say the opposite. Go back to the homes. Go back to the homes. Go back to the homes. So when women abandon homes, children are not well brought up. They are moving about in the streets. It is from there they start taking drugs. From there they start joining cults. The boy or girl did not have anybody to take care of her. How many girls have been abused? In fact, when you leave your daughter with your neighbor, do you know what is happening to that girl? And they will never tell you. I know a case like that. Now it's about 27 years when that happened. The mother of the girl never knew till today what happened to that girl. The girl itself is a big girl now. She's big, ready for marriage. She knows, but her mother never knew. Because that woman that her mother was living her with told her then never to tell her mother. And that woman and her mother are still friends. She was being abused by the sons of that woman, the friend of her mother. So as you are waka about, you leave your daughter in the hand of somebody. You don't know what is happening to your daughter. Stay in the house, be doing nafila. It's better for you. The third nafila I like to mention. As-salatu bayna al-adhanayn. The prayer between two adhans. You see, these nawafils are brief. They are not like the previous ones. Two units of prayer between the adhan and the iqamah. So when they say bayna adhanayn, some people can say two adhans. Yes, the iqamah is adhan too. Because al-adhan, lugatan, i'lam, announcement. So the first adhan is al-i'lamu bidukhuli al-waqt, yani bidukhuli waqt as-salah. When you first call prayer, you are telling the people the time of prayer has reached. Go, first adhan. The second one is al-i'lamu bihuduri fi'li as-salah. When you make a comma, you are announcing that the action of salah is to do what? Start. That's why we say qamatis salah to God. Qamatis salah. The first one is hayya ala salah. Go. Hayya ala salah. Come. Time has reached. So it's adhan. It's an announcement. The second one is also an announcement. But the difference is that this one has qamatis salah. لأنه إعلام بدخول يعني بحضور فعل الصلاة. The time for the action of salah itself has reached. So that's why the two of them are referred to as what? Adhanan. And the salah in between the two of them is referred to as what? Salatun bayna adhanayn. Abdullah ibn Mughaffal al-Muzali radiyallahu anhu. He said that the Prophet said alayhi salatu wassalam, bayna kulli adhanayn salatun. Bayna kulli adhanayn salatun. He said it 3 times. Bayna kulli adhanayn salat. Bayna kulli adhanayn salat. Bayna kulli adhanayn salat. On the fourth account, he said, liman sha, if you want. So you see an opportunity for 2 rakats, 2 quick rakats. They call the other. That's why when ulama are discussing what is the time limit between the adhan and the commencement of salah, you know that it causes problems, especially in the masasi of Adugo. In the Adugo masjids, it causes problems. Today, you see, you just call the adhan, you start to pray. The question can come: what is the time limit for which you can wait before you start the call? The scholars say the time that is sufficient to make 2 quick rakats. The time that's sufficient to make 2 quick rakats. And they take it from this hadith. Why? Because they say the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned 2 quick rakats. 2 rakats for this interval. So the interval that's sufficient to make 2 quick units. is the minimum that you can wait. You can wait longer than that. But at least wait for us to be able to make 2 minutes now. That is if you are in the masjid already. Some people will not leave their homes until they hear their advance. Many of us are like that. May Allah protect us. In another riwayah of this hadith, Abdullah ibn Mughaffal said that the Prophet said, Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Sallu qabla al-maghrib rak'atay. Sallu qabla al-maghrib rak'atay. Observe 2 units of prayer before Maghrib. Observe 2 units of prayer before Maghrib. And then he ended it and said, Liman sha, if you want. So the 2 units of prayer can be observed between the first adhan and the iqamah. For Maghrib too, Yoruba say, when the Maghrib is elect, you hear what the Prophet said. He said, alayhi salatu, Sallu qabla al-maghrib rak'atayn. Talo sobe, Nabi sallallahu. Sallu qabla al-maghrib rak'atayn. Sallu. Some of us still have that impression. There is taboo to call Maghrib. Now wait. Like the Maghrib Sile. If you ask him why, you don't know that they don't call Maghrib and wait. So you call Maghrib and pray at least 2 minutes of prayer. He said, alayhi salatu wasalam, Sallu qabla al-maghrib rak'atayn. Sallu qabla al-maghrib rak'atayn. Sallu qabla al-maghrib rak'atayn. Liman sha. Okay, those of us who don't want, you will not disturb those of us who want. Just like what I was saying. Some people can start fighting the masjid because of this. Hey, no. Call the other. Let's pray Maghrib. No. If I want to make 2 units, don't stop me now. Just like I won't stop you that you should not want. If you don't want, I can compel you to want. If I want, why do you want to compel me not to want? Let us be easy with ourselves. Ayyuhan nas, yassiru wa la tu'assiru. He said, alayhi salatu wasalam, hadith of Abdur-Rauf, and Imam al-Bukhari reports it in his Sahih. He says, Alimun nasa umura dini. Teach the people the affairs of their leader. This yassiru wa la tu'assiru. It comes about teaching. Don't be the tough teacher. Don't be the tough one. Be easy. Be easy with the people in your teaching them. Be easy. Wherever they're teaching you are teaching. Maybe WhatsApp, maybe Facebook. Be easy. Be easy. Yassiru. Make it easy. Wala tu'assiru. Don't make it difficult. Wabashiru. Give the people good words, good promises, hope of goodness. Wala tunabiru. Don't do something that when people see, they say, this one, and the religion will teach you to do like this. They will run away from that. Many of our younger brothers behave like it. Let us stop this kind of attitude. Somebody came to our house with a brother. He wants to ask me a question. Say, me, I don't know. Raw. I'm going to ask my questions raw. I felt inside, what is wrong? Islam wants you to be cultured, not raw. So we are not shy of being raw to the extent that you are saying that you want to be raw. Someone who is raw should be shy. Yeah. Now we carry the banner. Me, I'm not. My own is raw. I'm doing it raw. And you think that is the sunnah? The sunnah is that you should be raw. You should be without civility. You should be uncivilized in your approach to affairs. You should not have respect for people who are older than you. If we leave everything aside, you should not have respect for me. And you are inside my house. So I can tell you, stand up and go out. But you know, we now have to make that yasiru. We now take it like that. I say, that's your raw. Say, go with the raw yam. Eat your raw yam. Say it. Brothers, let us be decent. Be decent. Be decent in your speech. Be decent in your dawah. Be decent in your speech. Be decent in your dawah. Be decent in your look. Be decent in what you eat. Be decent in your sleep. That was the Prophet Muhammad. He was an embodiment of decency. That's why it says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. May Allah protect us. So Salatul Maghrib, you can pray 2 prayers, 2 units of prayer in between the 2 adhan. You can pray 2 units in between the 2. You can also do that for other salawat. Now, how about Rak'at-al-Fajr? You should make Rak'at-al-Fajr immediately after the adhan of Salatul Fajr. Go before the Iqamah of Salatul Fajr. So how many rakats will you make? How many rakats are those? 2. One is Rakat al-Fajr. The second one is what? This unit of prayer. How do you do it? Make Rakat al-Fajr at home. Make this one in the masjid. If you make it 2 at home, you have more rewards. Because the one you make at home is better than the one you make in the masjid. The messenger said so, alayhi salam. After Salati Rajuli, Salatuhu Bilatihi, alayhi salam. He said so. So you that you slept until your wife is with you, I will stand up, I will stand up. When she hears say Allah, that's sharp. So that has started. You start brushing. Are you the one that will make 2 units of prayer Tahiyyatul-Masjid? And if I at Tahiyyatul-Masjid, making how many? 6. You would have made Rak'at-al-Fajr at home. You would have made 2 units of prayer for Allah at home. You now come to the masjid, Salat has not started. What do you do again? Tahiyyatul-Masjid. You see, the doors of Jannah are open. May Allah protect us. The 4th nafila I like to talk about is Salatul Dukhuli wal Khuruj min al-Manzil. Salatul Dukhuli wal Khuruj min al-Manzil. The 2 units of prayer we say in the Ad-Dukhuli wal Khuruj min al-Manzil. The time we are entering the house, 2 units. When you are going out of the house, 2 units. Abu Huraira used to do it. Abu Huraira, he has a masjid at his gate. When he goes out and comes, you pray 2 units before he goes into the house. Use your gate house for this. If you have gate house. If you don't have gate house too, you can say it anywhere around the earlier part of your house. Maybe as you come into your sitting room, you take it there. When they go out too, they've left home. Women have one attitude. You are with them dressing to go out, they will say that they need something. When you get into the car, they'll say, Abu. I don't know, do you have that experience? They'll start telling the children, tell them to stop the car, Abu Naasir. So you get used to it. Do you have that experience? So after you finish all those ones, that is. In fact, I tell you, if you make that nafila, they will not remember. Until you reverse, you want to drive out. You tell the children to lock the gate, let it come down. So don't forget to make Salatul al-Dukhul wal Khuruj min al-Manzil. 2 units of prayers you are praying. When you come back to it, Abu Hurairah see now. That's her bounce. That's her companions are. They always do what they got from the Prophet Muhammad. If he reports something, he will be the one doing it. That's why if there's a hadith that talks about a matter, someone else says, tell me the companion who did it. I say, the one who reported it, you think he will report that thing from the Prophet and will not do it? Must have been it. It is children playing with them. The companions, they will report something from the Prophet and not do it. So they will ask me, that hadith, which companion did it like that? I say, that companion who reported it is the first person to do it. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu said that the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, إذا دخلت منزلك فصلي ركعتين. إذا دخلت, as you are entering your house, فصلي ركعتين. Observe 2 units of prayer. تمنعانك مدخل السوء. These 2 units of prayer, Allah will use it to prevent you from evil entry. فإذا خرجت من منزلك. Likewise, when you go out of your homes, فصلي ركعتين. Observe 2 units of prayer. تمنعانك مخرج السوء. These 2 units of prayers, Allah will make it a means of protecting you from evil outing. How many times will we go out? But like when you are coming back, you will regret, I wish I didn't go out. You're making adhkar before you go out. Don't joke with it. Teach your children. Bismillah. Tawakkaltu ala Allah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And others. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min abdillah aw dudan. And so on. Add 2 units of prayer to it. 2 weeks ago, one of my in-laws, he said, Abu Naasir, say now, say, as God will walk. He said, okay. What happened was that they were going out, his daughter came, they wanted to go into the car, he was telling her, say, Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata. Everybody said, they got into the car. He was going to, and the wife, he was going to drop each person, drop the children at school, drop the wife at work, come back to his own work. His car just swept off the express into the bush. According to him, it somersaulted twice. He sent the video to me on my phone. If you see the side, you see the injury of somersault. So when he came out, he said himself and the wife were struggling for the children. You know, parents, before you look at yourself, you want to know what's happening to you. Kids, they quickly rush to the 3 of them. Hey, come on. How are you? Are you fine? Are you okay? That's when the man now remembered the wife. The wife too now remembered the husband. That's how being a parent is. When our parents were like that, we used to ask them, why are you bothering so much about you? I say, don't worry. When you have your own, you see. So he said after that, he was just trying to call his mechanic or just call somebody to know what has happened to them. The car just started fire. It burned to ashes. That burnt after the left. It burnt. He said he was looking at it like this. The car was burning. It burnt only the carcass. They sold the carcass for 100,000 naira. Toyota muzzle. It burnt. They sold the carcass for 100,000. So you know what has happened to that car. So I asked, he said, that's why he said, he was wondering that, what if, as they were somersaulting, the fire started? He said he thinks that the dua has been answered, and nobody was so injured, just minor injury. He's a doctor, the wife is a doctor. They went to the hospital. You know how doctors will take that? What's the point of reference in this narration? Pay attention to adhkar. Add 2 units of prayer to it. Abdur-Rauf radiallahu anhu reported that the Prophet said, alayhi salatu, إذا دخلت منزلك فصلي ركعتين تمنعانك من مدخل السوء وإذا خرجت من منزلك فصلي ركعتين تمنعانك من مخرج السوء. You know مخرج السوء, evil outing. This outing car. It usually happens when you forget to make adhkar. Don't forget adhkar. Add 2 units of prayer to it. The early Muslims used to do it. When they go out, they pray 2 units. When they come back, they pray 2 units. May Allah protect all of us. This hadith that I have read, Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar grade 6, Hasan, Rahimahullah, it also occurs in Silsilatul Ahadith Sahih by Imam Muhammad Naasir al-Albani Rahimahullah. You know why I'm mentioning who grades it Hasan? I didn't say that for other hadiths. Each time there's a difference about whether a hadith is sahih or not, I like to say so and so breaks it. So and so breaks it. Once we hear me say that, know that there's an issue of hadith. But the hadith is sahih. So that is Salatul Dukhuli wal Khuruji in al-Manzil. The fifth Salah Nafila we like to mention. Nafilatul Qadim or Salatul Qadim min as-Safar. Salatul Qadim min as-Safar. The Salah of the one who just arrives from the journey. Travel to Lagos. You are coming back home. Before you enter the house, say to Rak'atay. We see companions all their lives to Rak'atay. That was about their devotion to Allah. So devoted. We are devoted to our phones. Our own devotion is to our phones. Some people almost sleep holding the phones. And the scientists say when the phone is near you when you sleep, it's hazardous. So, is it not hazardous? There are a lot of documentaries on the hazards of keeping the phones near you when you sleep. It is even a means of insomnia for many others. Insomnia is sleeplessness. They say the phones, the rays of the phones don't allow you to sleep. Yet we are carrying the phones about. May Allah protect us. Ka'b ibn Malik. Do we remember the story of his repentance? Radiyallahu anhu. One of the sweetest stories in the books of Hadith. One of the stories that when you hear it, you almost cry again. Stories of pain and joy. Tears and sorrow. And then happiness at the end of it. Radiyallahu anhu. When he narrated in that hadith, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam returned from his journey from Tabuk, it says, وَكَانَ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمْ إِذَا قَدِمَ مِنْ سَفَرٍ. And from the way of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was that whenever he returned from his journey, بَدَأَ بِالْمَسْجِدِ. He would start with a masjid. فَيَرْكَوْ رَكْعَتَيْ. He will observe 2 minutes of prayer. ثُمَّ جَلَسَ لِلنَّاسِ. Then he will sit down when people want to talk. So the Prophet will not just come back from journey, enter the house, 2 minutes of prayer. You know that will almost coincide with the Salatul Dukhul wal Khuruj. Because as-safaru min jumlatil khuruj. So the journey is part of going out of the house. So he made 2 minutes of prayer when he came. Alayhi salatu wassalam. That hadith of course is very clear. I don't think it needs a lot of explanations. The 6th nafila, go. But there's a point I like to mention. Masjidul Dar. There's something the Salaf refer to as Masjidul Dar. House mosque. House mosque. It was very common. I was saying Sheikh Khalid al-Ambali. He has a book on that. He went into the books of Hadith to select narrations about the companions who had masajid in their homes. Try to have a place, prayer place in your home. Not the place for Khamsu Salawatu. The place for what? Nawafil. This place you are praying there. If it is somewhere around the entrance to the house, is better. So you can make your Salatul Dukhul and Salatul Khuruj there. The 6th Salah I like to mention, Sunnatul Jum'ah. The nawafils that are around Salatul Jum'ah. I didn't say connected to. The one that's connected to Jum'ah is Ba'diyah. As for Qabliyah, there's no specific number. Who read it come. Salatul Jum'ah, you come to the masjid for Salatul Jum'ah. And that's before the Imam comes to the masjid. Many of us don't do it again. We go to the masjid, rush it, they started for start running. The early Muslims from the morning, they start preparing for Jum'ah. So they get to Juma. Our own parents, that's how they were. The Babas, Baba, that's how they are. We are the ones Salafis. Anima Shejosin, Salafis Shejosin. Column. Fasali Lero Dika. Fasjudu Rak'atay. Seek nearness to Allah, Salafi. Let it not just be word of the mouth. One of the scholars, Sheikh Abdul-Aziz Al-Rais, about less than a week ago, he gave an advice for students of knowledge. He said it will be unfortunate that you are a student of knowledge and the people who are not students of anything, their worship is more than your own. You know all the ahkam, you know all the hadith, sahih, istikhara. How will you be struggling about istikhara? You don't make istikhara. So he the Salafi who is, his worship is sound, his knowledge is sound, his conduct is sound, his approach is Salafi. It's not just one thing. It is everything. May Allah protect all of us. So Sunnatul-Jum'ah, they are the ones before. That one, there is no specific number to it. Perform any number of rak'ats. Any number. One of the scholars mentioned what happened with Imam al-Albani rahimahullah. He was in the masjid waiting like this. So he made the sleep. Someone said, Ya Sheikh, one mas'ala. Sheikh just pushed the book aside like this, as he was showing me Tira. You know what I mean? Al-Albani was in the masjid rahimahullah. One of the students wanted to show him one mas'ala. He said, Ya Sheikh. He said, Sheikh, push the book. He said, Hada waqtul ibadah. He pushed the book. This time, it's ibadah, not, is this Sahih or right? You too should have that one. I don't know, are those people not the people we want to follow? Our own, we come late to the masjid. And when you come, the phone low man there. May Allah protect us. The ulama say, Lam yasbut fi salati al-jum'ati sunnatun qabliyatun muhaddadatun. Salatul Jum'ah does not have any sunnah qabliya muhaddada. Sunnatun qabliya, any 2 units of prayer. Qabliya, before it muhaddada, specified any number. No. So it is mutlaqut tatawwu'i that is allowed. Just nafila. That occurs in the hadith of Abu Hurairah again. You see now why they hate Abu Hurairah. Because when you begin to cast aspersion as his personality, you will destroy our religion. Ulama refer to him as Hafidul Ummah. He reported from the Prophet Muhammad. Alayhi salatu wassalam. Man iktasala thumma atal jum'ata. Man iktasala, whoever makes ghusl on the day of Jum'ah, thumma atal jum'ah. Then he comes to the masjid for salatul Jum'ah. Fasalla ma kuddira lahu. Salla ma kuddira. And then he observes ma kuddira lahu. Whatever is preordained for him. So how many rakats do you observe before salatul Jum'ah? Whatever is preordained for you. Ma kuddira lahu. It says, Man iktasala yawmu, man iktasala thumma atal Jum'ah, man iktasala thumma atal Jum'ah, fasalla ma kuddira lahu. He observes whatever Allah makes easy for him. Thumma ansafa hatta yufrada min al-khutbah, and then he observes silence until the khutbah is completed. ثم يصلي مع الإمام, and then he prays with the Imam. غفر له ما بين الجمعة والجمعة الأخرى. He will be forgiven what is between that Jum'ah and another Jum'ah. وَفَضْلُ ثَلَاثَةِ أَيَّامٍ. He also have another forgiveness for extra 3 days. So that it will be 10 days. You know, al-a'malu bi-ashri al-thani. they get 10 days reward. That thing started with what? Coming to the masjid. When you suddenly here, you will observe what Allah ordains. As it is like that for men, it is for women too if she chooses to go for Jumu'ah. If a woman chooses to go for Jumu'ah, it's allowed. Al-Imam Qadi Iyad, or was it Ibn al-Arabi al-Maliki in his tafsir? Ibn al-Arabi al-Maliki. He said, he went to one of the cities, if I still remember, Tartus. I'm mentioning that regarding the women. He said, that is the day you see women on the roads. He said, when it is coming near the time of Juma, you see all the road, black, 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 black everywhere. He said, after the Juma, you see black again, black everywhere. He said, you will not see that again until next Juma. He was explaining what Corona fee will stay inside the house. I am using it to say that staying in the house does not prevent you from going for Salatul Juma if you want. So women can go for Juma. So this is also applicable to women. If she comes for Salatul Juma before the khutbah, he can stand, she can stand up, he can stand up, be observing 2 units. And don't forget, the best of Nawafil is what? Total Kunut. The lengthy reciter. So if she's a sister, if the Lord started having many sisters now who memorize Quran, you know that the entire Quran, not half, not 1/3. Complete. Many young sisters now memorize Quran. Complete. So when brother is battling with Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad, Allahu Samad, Lam Yalid, he's reading Surah Al-A'raf, Surah Al-An'am. You should have targeted it. This Juma, I will be reading Surah Al-An'am in my 2 units of prayer. So you just see her standing. She's reading. You know, Yala Salatus, they will observe. Be like that. But today it is phone she's pressing. She'll quickly make 2 big brackets. You allowed, Salam alaikum. The rest of the time is to do what? Press phone. Let's go. May Allah protect us. We are mentioning it so that we can change it. Let's stop it and change it. Change it. That is regarding before Jumu'ah. How about after Jumu'ah? After Jumu'ah, Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu says that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will observe Rak'atay ba'da al-Jum'ati fi bayti. He observed 2 units of prayer after Jumu'ah in his house. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu said he will observe 4 units of prayer. He didn't say whether inside his house or in the masjid. So ulama say pray it anywhere. You can pray it too. You can also pray for anywhere you like. If you like, pray it in the masjid. If you like, pray it at home. But which one will be better? At home. Because after the Salatul Mar'i, Salatuhu fi bayti, the best of the individual's prayer is the one that he makes at home. So you see why those kawaii, those foundational rules about Nawafil are necessary. You will be seeing some of them being applicable in different circumstances. How many have we mentioned? 6. Number 7. Let me combine 7 and 8. I mentioned another one. Let me combine 7 and 8 because they have to do with Hajj and Umrah. May Allah make it easy for me. Okay, may Allah make it easy for all of us. Good. 2 habits. I'm involved twice. So. The 7th one is Rak'atay Tawaf, the 2 units of Rak'atay Tawaf, the 2 units of prayer after Tawaf. When you make Tawaf, you make 2 units of prayer. when you make tawaf, every 7 rounds, that's a full tawaf, 2 units of prayer. Every time you make 7 tawaf, round 2 units. 2 units. These 2 units of prayer, unlike all others that we have mentioned, there are specific things to read inside them. Ikhlas and Kafir. Ikhlas and Kafir. If you are making tawaf after tawaf, you read Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Kafir. Which one should you read first? Kafir. What is the evidence? In some of the reports, it said Kafirun and Ikhlas. In some of the reports, it said Ikhlas and Kafirun. So ulama say anyone. If you like start with Ikhlas, make the second one to be what? Kafirun. If you like start with Kafirun, make the second one to be what? Ikhlas. Just make sure that one of them has Ikhlas, one of them has a Kafirun. I hope that it is clear. So that is the 2 units of prayer for tawaf. Like I said, these ones are connected to being attached. The second one is the 2 units of prayer we observe when we go to Masjid al-Quba. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Abdullah ibn Umar said, Kana Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya'ti Masjid al-Quba. He will come to Masjid Quba, Raqiban wa Mashia. So here is brothers. Sometimes he will come Raqiban while riding. Sometimes he will come Mashia while walking. These days, many brothers will say, Abu Naasir, let us enter moto. See, sometimes we should trek now. And it's not far. Maximum 28 minutes you get to Quba from Masjid al-Nabawi. In Medina, 28 minutes you get to Masjid Quba. So sometimes you trek, sometimes you do what? You ride. If you ride every day, no problem. Don't say they say speed out. So you can ride, you can trek. But me, I would like to ride and trek. Why? The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do what? Ride, and then you do what? Trek. Alayhi salatu wasallam. Ibn Umar said, Kana Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya'ti Masjid Quba. He will come to the Quba Masjid, Raqiban wa Mashia, trekking and walking. It could also be that he will be on the ride, then he will come down. This Ibarah accepts that interpretation too. To be honest, فَيُصَلِّي فِيهِ Rak'atay. When he comes, he will now observe 2 units of prayer at Quba. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This hadith occurs in Bukhari. In another report, it says, رَأَيْتُ النَّبِيَّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَأْتِيهِ كُلَّ سَبْتٍ. I saw the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam doing that every Saturday. Some interpret every Saturday to mean every week. So it could be every Saturday or every week. Anyway, I think the expression accepts the word. رَأَيْتُ النَّبِيَّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَأْتِيهِ كُلَّ سَبْتٍ. He will come on every Saturday. To where? Quba. He will come from Masjid al-Nabawi, he goes to Quba and he will come back. These are the nawafil that I thought to remind myself about and the rest of us. Beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it beneficial to us. The first one was Tahiyyatul-Masjid. The second one are 2 minutes of prayer after wudu. The third one is Salatul Layla al-Adhin. The fourth one is Salatul Dukhuli wal Khurudi min al-Manzil. Entering and coming out of the house. Salatul Qadimi min al-Safar. The observer, the salah of the person who just returns from journey. Then Sunnatul Jum'ah, Al-Ba'diyah, and Al-Qabliyah. The salah that we can observe on the days of Jum'ah before the salah and after the salah. The 7th and the 8th one are the 2 minutes of prayer after Tawaf, and the 2 minutes of prayer we observe where? At Quba. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. We thank our stars for that presentation. So there's going to be an adjustment to the timetable. The lecturers would like to take as much questions as possible. And the previous question, because we have a lot of them here. But before that, I still going to say some things about the relation to Abba. But we now bring forward the last lecture, that is the value of your tears. It's going to be the next one now. So when we now have a break for Salat, then we come back and say some things about